those types of policies can be implemented. Also looking at things like midwifery and how we've had that in St. Anthony on the Northern Peninsula. I think, the concept of saying cutting healthcare, that's simply not the case. It's about putting our tax dollars to better use.
Okay, just on that, and not to be too picky, but putting tax dollars to better use or spending it more effectively, there are some who would interpret that as spending less. You're not saying that's the case. You're saying you're going to be more strategic in the spending, but the amount will be the same. Can I extrapolate that from it?
Well, our leader, Dwight Ball, has said that we would create centers of excellence throughout the province when it comes to various aspects of healthcare. And I'll give you an example of how we're going to spend less money in the overall global healthcare budget by implementing an echocardiogram service where we had somebody on staff in St. Anthony that was trained. Previously, they would refer out 300 patients per year. And that meant that these people then would be taking medical travel and claiming it back through the overall global healthcare budget. Okay. Whereas having the person on site, and now they're also going to take that person and spend a few days or a week in Goose Bay and Lab City. So now the people that require standard echocardiogram testing, which is a basic diagnostic ultrasound service, they won't have to travel to St. John's on the public dollars and be reimbursed. We're going to send the specialist to them. That's a implementation of how you would spend healthcare dollars wisely.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
So you're not actually talking about spending less, but we know that with an aging population that, healthcare budgets, if things aren't done, then it's only going to balloon and get worse.
Okay. I'm sure this wasn't the reason you called. I'm glad you've answered the question. What's on your mind, Chris?
Well, you had talked about in your preamble about rural communities, and as the Liberal Innovation Business and Rural Development critic, I wanted to talk about how we really need progressive policies, and they have to have lasting impacts to both urban and rural areas, because one can't do better than the other. I mean, both are interdependent when we talk about servicing the province. So one area where I see where we have a real opportunity is around advanced telecommunications, and the Liberals supported this at our annual general meeting. And just to give you an example of that, we saw Councillor Galgay talking about revitalizing the downtown of St. John's, for example. Well, if we really want to develop pro-business and also advance tourism, then the downtown should have wireless zones. They should have, at minimum, hotspots so that, people can tap in those visiting and do business, but also cut down on their own roaming fee. This also then can be supplied to some of the rural areas of the province, like that would not have cellular coverage but have broadband. So you could have community wireless in a town of Conch, which is a tourism destination. These types of things help market and promote the areas. I visited other places in Italy where the malls have hotspots available. They're free. The same thing with Budapest. They have signs up pointing out that this is a Wi-Fi zone. If we're really going to advance our economy and start promoting business, then that's something that we need to look at. We need to have our public buildings having access, having Wi-Fi hotspots. And that's a progressive policy that doesn't have to cost a lot of money, but it's creative, it's innovative, and I would encourage the government to adopt such policies.
All right, got to leave it there. Got to take a break. Thank you for answering those health questions and sharing some of the ideas that the Liberal Party has on innovation. Appreciate that, Chris.
Thanks so much, Tim, and cheers from the Stephenville area today.
Everybody's in Stephenville. Must be a by-election, huh?
Absolutely. All right. We got to get our candidate, Scott Reed, elected.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.